Been on the pod. All right, I want to begin a new reading out of the Word of God from the book of Job. I am reading from Brenton's Septuagint is the 1851 translation. And here we go. Job, chapter 1. It is written. There was a certain man in the land of Ossus, whose name was Job. And that man was true, blameless, righteous, and godly, abstaining from everything evil. And he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And his cattle consisted of 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 she asses in the pastures, and a very great household. And he had a great husbandry on the earth, and that man was most noble of the men of the east. And his sons, visiting one another, prepared a banquet every day, taking with them also their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, sorry. And when the days of the banquet was completed, Job sent and purified them, having risen up in the morning and offered sacrifices for them, according to their number, and 1 calf for a sin offering for their souls. For Job said, lest peradventure my sons have thought evil in their minds against God. Thus then Job did continually. And it came to pass on a day that, behold, the angels of God came to stand before the Lord, and the devil came with them. And the Lord said to the devil, Whence art thou come? And the devil answered the Lord and said, I am come from compassing the earth and walking up and down in the world. And the Lord said to him, Hast thou diligently considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a man blameless, true, godly, abstaining from everything evil? Then the devil answered and said before the Lord, Does Job worship the Lord for nothing? Hast thou not made a hedge about him and about his household and all his possessions round about? And hast thou not blessed the works of his hands and multiplied his cattle upon the land? But put forth thine hand and touch all that he has. Verily, he will bless thee to thy face. I don't think it means bless. I think it's curse thee to thy face. Then the Lord said to the devil, Behold, I give into thine hand all that he has, but touch not himself. So the devil went out from the presence of the Lord. Hold on 1 minute. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to do something really quick. I have more than one translation here. And I'm looking up the other one because that kind of dumbfounded me right there. That kind of caught me off guard. So let me see. Oh, Job. Job, chapter 1. And that was verse 11. That says, will bless thee to thy face. So I'm not sure why it says that. That's so kind of weird. But language was different back then too. Okay, let me keep going. I'm sorry. So the devil, let's see. Then the Lord said to the devil, Behold, I give into thine hand all that he has, but touch not himself. So the devil went out from the presence of the Lord. And it came to pass on a certain day that Job's sons and his daughters were drinking wine in the house of their elder brother. And behold, there came a messenger to Job and said to him, The yokes of oxen were plowing, and the she asses were feeding near them. And the spoilers came and took them for a prey, and slew the servants with the sword. And I, having escaped alone, am come to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came another messenger and said to Job, Fire has fallen from heaven and burnt up the sheep and devoured the shepherds likewise. And I, having escaped alone, come to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came another messenger and said to Job, the horsemen formed 3 companies against us and surrounded the camels and took them for a prey and slew the servants with the sword. And I only escaped and am come to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, another messenger comes, saying to Job, while thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking with their elder brother, suddenly a great wind came on from the desert and caught the 4 corners of the house, and the house fell upon thy children, and they are dead. I have escaped alone and come to tell thee. So Job arose and rent his garments and shaved his hair of his head and fell on the earth and worshipped and said, I myself came forth naked from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. As it seemed good to the Lord, so has it come to pass. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all these events that befell him, Job sinned not at all before the Lord, and did not impute folly to God. Hi, May. May, right? I think that's it, May. Chapter 2. And it came to pass on a certain day that the angels of God came to stand before the Lord, and the devil came among them to stand before the Lord. And the Lord said to the devil, whence comest thou? Then the devil said before the Lord, I am come from going through the world and walking about the whole earth. And the Lord said to the devil, hast thou then observed my servant Job, that there is none of men upon the earth like him, a harmless, true, blameless, godly man, abstaining from all evil? And he yet cleaves to innocence, whereas thou hast told me to destroy his substance without cause. And the devil answered and said to the Lord, skin for skin. All that a man has will he give as a ransom for his life. Nay, but put forth thine hand and touch his bones and his flesh, and verily he will bless thee to thy face. And the Lord said to the devil, behold, I deliver him up to thee, only save his life. So the devil went out from the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from his feet to his head. And he took a potsherd to scrape away the discharge, and sat upon a dung heap outside the city. And when much time had passed, his wife said to him, how long wilt thou hold out, saying, behold, I wait yet a little while, expecting the hope of my deliverance? For behold, thy memorial is abolished from the earth, even thy sons and daughters. The pangs and pains of my womb, which I bore in vain with sorrows. And thou thyself sittest down to spend the nights in the open air among the corruption of worms. I am a wanderer and a servant from place to place and house to house, waiting for the setting of the sun, that I may rest from my labors and my pangs, which now beset me. But say some word against the Lord and die. But he looked on her and said to her, thou hast spoken like one of the foolish women. If we have received good things of the hand of the Lord, shall we not endure evil things? In all these things that happened to him, Job sinned not at all with his lips before God. Now his 3 friends, having heard of all the evil that was come upon him, came to him, each from his own country. Eliphaz, the king of the Thamans, Beladad, sovereign of the Septuagint, Sophar, king of the Minians, and they came to him with one accord to comfort and to visit him. And when they saw him from a distance, they did not know him. And they cried with a loud voice and wept and rent every one his garment and sprinkled dust upon their heads. And they sat down beside him 7 days and 7 nights, and no one of them spoke, for they saw that his affliction was dreadful and great. Chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed his day, saying, let the day perish in which I was born, and that night in which they said, behold, a man-child. Let that night be darkness, And let not the Lord regard it from above, neither let light come upon it. But let darkness and the shadow of death seize it. Let blackness come upon it. Let that day and night be cursed. Let darkness carry them away. Let it not come into the days of the years, neither let it be numbered with the days of the months. But let that night be pain, and let not mirth come upon it, nor joy. But let him that curses that day curse it, even he that is ready to attack the great whale. Let the stars of that night be darkened. Let it remain dark and not come into light. And let it not see the morning star arise, because it shut not up the gates of my mother's womb. For so it would have removed sorrow from my eyes. For why died I not in the belly? And why did I not come forth from the womb and die immediately? And why did the knees support me? And why did I suck the breast? Now I should have lain down and been quiet. I should have slept and been at rest. With kings and counselors of the earth who gloried in their swords, or with rulers whose gold was abundant, who filled their houses with silver. Or I should have been as an untimely birth proceeding from my mother's womb, or as infants who never saw light. Therefore the ungodly have burnt out the fury of rage. There the wearied embody rest. And the men of old time have together ceased to hear the exactor's voice. The small and great are there, and the servant that feared his Lord. For why is light given to those who are in bitterness, and life to those souls which are in griefs? Who desire death and obtain it not, digging for it as for treasures, and would be very joyful if they should gain it. Death is rest to such a man, for God has hedged him in. For my groaning comes before my food, and I weep, being beset with terror. For the terror of which I meditated has come upon me, and that which I had feared has befallen me. I was not at peace, nor quiet, nor I had rest, yet wrath came upon me. Chapter 4, poor feller. Blessings. Chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Themanite answered and said, Hast thou been often spoken to in distress? But who shall endure the force of thy words? For whereas thou hast instructed many, and hast strengthened the hands of the weak one, and hast supported the failing with words, and hast imparted courage to feeble knees. Yet now that pain is come upon thee, and touched thee. Thou art troubled. Is not thy fear founded in folly? Thy hope also, and the mischief of thy way? Remember then who has perished, being pure. And when were the true-hearted utterly destroyed? Accordingly, as I have seen men plowing barren places, and they that sow them will reap sorrows for themselves. They shall perish by the command of the Lord, and shall be utterly consumed by the breath of his wrath. The strength of the lion, the voice of the lioness, and the exulting cry of serpents are quenched. The old lion has perished for want of food, and the lion's whelps have forsaken one another. But if there had been any truth in thy words, none of these evils would have befallen thee. Shall not mine ear receive excellent revelations from him? But as when terror falls upon men with dread and a sound in the night, horror and trembling seized me and caused all my bones greatly to shake. And a spirit came before my face, and my hair and flesh quivered. I arose and perceived it not. I looked, and there was no form before my eyes. But I only heard a breath and a voice saying, What shall a mortal be pure before the Lord? No, I said that wrong. What shall a mortal be pure before the Lord? Or a man be blameless in regard to his works? Whereas he trusts not in his servants and perceives perverseness in his angels. But as for them that dwell in houses of clay, of whom we also are formed of the same clay, he smites them like a moth. And from the morning to evening, they no longer exist. They have perished because they cannot help themselves. For he blows upon them and they are withered. They have perished for lack of wisdom. Ooh. Chapter 5. But call, if anyone will hearken to thee, or if thou shalt see any of the holy angels. For wrath destroys the foolish one, and envy slays him that has gone astray. And I have seen foolish ones taking root, But suddenly their habitation was devoured. Let their children be far from safety, and let them be crushed at the doors of vile men, and let there be no deliverer. For what they have collected, the just shall eat, but they shall not be delivered out of calamities. Let their strength be utterly exhausted. For labor cannot by any means come out of the earth, nor shall trouble spring out of the mountains. Yet man is born to labor, and even so the vulture's young seek the high places. Nevertheless, I will beseech the Lord. I will call. Hold on, let me turn the phone off there. Nevertheless, I will beseech the Lord, and will call upon the Lord, the sovereign of all, who does great things, and untraceable, glorious things also, and marvelous, of which there is no number, who gives rain upon the earth, sending water on the earth, who exalts the lowly and raises them up that are lost, frustrating the counsels of the crafty, and their hands shall not perform the truth, who takes the wise in their wisdom and subverts the counsels of the crafty. In the day darkness shall come upon them, and let them grope in the noonday, even as in the night. And let them perish in war, and let the weak escape from the hand of the mighty. And let the weak have hope, but the mouth of the unjust be stopped. But blessed is the man whom the Lord has reproved, and reject not thou the chastising of the Almighty. For he causes a man to be in pain and restores him again. He smites and his hand heals. 6 times he shall deliver thee out of distresses, and in the 7th harm shall not touch thee. In famine he shall deliver thee from death, and in war he shall free thee from the power of the sword. He shall hide thee from the scourge of the tongue, and thou shalt not be afraid of coming evils. Thou shalt laugh at the unrighteous and the lawless. Thou shalt not be afraid of wild beasts, for the wild beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Then shalt thou know that thy house shall be at peace, and the provision for thy tabernacle shall not fail. And thou shalt know that thy seed shall be abundant, and thy children shall be like the herbage of the field. And thou shalt come to the grave like ripe corn reaped in its season, or as a heap of corn flour collected in proper time. Behold, we have thus sought out these matters. These are what we have heard. But do thou reflect with thyself if thou hast done anything wrong. Chapter 6. But Job answered and said, Oh, that one would indeed weigh the wrath that is upon me, and take up my griefs in balance together. And verily they would be heavier than the sand by the seashore. But as it seems, my words are vain. For the arrows of the Lord are in my body, whose violence drinks up my blood. Whenever I am going to speak, they pierce me. What then? Will the wild ass bray for nothing if he is not seeking food? Or again, will the ox low at the manger when he has a fodder? Shall bread be eaten without salt? Or again, is there taste in any empty words? For my wrath cannot cease, for I perceive my food as the smell of a lion to be loathsome. For oh, that he would grant my desire, and my petition might come, and the Lord would grant my hope. Let the Lord begin and wound me, but let him not utterly destroy me. Let the grave be my city, upon the walls of which I have leaped. I will not shrink from it, for I have not denied the holy words of my God. For what is my strength that I continue? What is my time that my soul endures? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh of brass? Or have I not trusted in him, but help is far from me? Mercy has rejected me, and the visitation of the Lord has disregarded me. My nearest relation have not regarded me. They have passed me by like a failing brook or like a wave. They who used to reverence me now have come against me like snow or congealed ice. When it has melted at the approach of heat, it is not known what it was. Thus I also have been deserted of all, and I am ruined and become an outcast. Behold, the ways of the Theemanites, I think it's Teemanites, forgive me. Ye that mark the paths of the Sabaeans, they too that trust in cities and riches shall come to shame. but ye also have come to me without pity, so that beholding my wound, ye are afraid. What? Have I made any demand of you, or do I ask for strength from you, to deliver me from enemies, or to rescue me from the hand of the mighty ones? Teach ye me, and I will be silent. If anything I have erred, tell me. But as it seems, the words of a true man are vain, because I do not ask strength of you. Neither will your reproof cause me to cease my words, for neither will I endure the sound of your speech. Even because ye attack the fatherless and insult your friend. But now, having looked upon your countenance, I will not lie. Sit down now, and let there not be unrighteousness, and unite again with the just. For there is no injustice in my tongue, and does not my throat meditate understanding? Well, he is telling him off, wasn't he? Chapter 7. Is not the life of a man upon earth a state of trial, and his existence as that of a hireling by the day, or as a servant that fears his master, and one who has grasped a shadow, or as a hireling waiting for his pay? So have I also endured months of vanity, and nights of pain have been appointed me. Whenever I lie down, I say, when will it be day? And whenever I rise up again, I say, when will it be evening? And I am full of pains from evening to morning, and my body is covered with loathsome worms, and I waste away, scraping off clods of dust from my eruption. And my life is lighter than a word, and has perished in vain hope. Remember then that my life is breath, and mine eye shall not yet again see good. The eye of him that sees me shall not see me again. Thine eyes are upon me, and I am no more. I am as a cloud that is cleared away from the sky. For if a man go down to the grave, he shall not come up again. And he shall surely not return to his own house, neither shall his place know him any more. Then neither will I refrain my mouth. I will speak, being in distress, being in anguish, I will disclose the bitterness of my soul. Am I a sea or a serpent that thou hast set a watch over me? I said that my bed should comfort me, and I would privately counsel with myself on my couch. Thou scarest me with dreams, and dost terrify me with visions. Thou wilt separate life from my spirit, and yet keep my bones from death. For I shall not live forever, that I should patiently endure. Depart from me, for my life is vain. For what is man, that thou hast magnified him, or that thou givest heed to him? Wilt thou visit him till the morning, and judge him till the time of rest? How long dost thou not let me alone, nor let me go, until I shall swallow down my spittle? If I have sinned, what shall I be able to do? O thou that understandest the mind of men, why hast thou made me why hast thou made me a thine accuser? And why am I a burden to thee? Why hast thou not forgotten my iniquity and purged my sin? But now I should depart to the earth, and in the morning I am no more. Chapter 8. Then Baladad the Shuhite answered and said, How long wilt thou speak these things? How long shall the breath of thy mouth be abundant in words? Will the Lord be unjust when he judges? Or will he that has made all things pervert justice? If thy sons have sinned before him, he has cast them away because of their transgression. But be thou early in prayer to the Lord Almighty. If thou art pure and true, he will hearken to thy supplication, and will restore to thee the habitation of righteousness. Though then thy beginning should be small, yet thy end should be unspeakably great. For ask of the former generation, and search diligently among the race of our fathers. For if we are of yesterday and know nothing, for our life upon the earth is a shadow. Shall not these teach thee, and report to thee, and bring out words from their heart? Does the rush flourish without water, or shall the flag grow up without moisture? When it is yet on the root, and though it has not been cut down, does not any herb wither before it has received moisture? Thus then shall be the end of all that forget the Lord. For the hope of the ungodly shall perish, for his house shall be without inhabitants, and his tent shall prove a spider's web. If he should prop up his house, it shall not stand. And when he has taken hold of it, it shall not remain. For it is moist under the sun, and his branch shall go forth. No, I'm sorry. For it is moist under the sun, and his branch shall come forth out of his dung heap. He lies down upon a gathering of stones, and shall live in the midst of flints. If God should destroy him, his place shall deny him. Hast thou not seen such things? That such is the overthrow of the ungodly, and out of the earth another shall grow. For the Lord will by no means reject the harmless man, but he will not receive any gift of the ungodly. But he will fill with laughter the mouth of the sincere, and their lips with thanksgiving. But their adversaries shall clothe themselves with shame, and the habitation of the ungodly shall perish. Chapter 9. Then Job answered and said, I know of a truth that it is so. For how shall a mortal man be just before the Lord? For if he would enter into judgment with him, God would not hearken to him, so that he should answer to one of his charges of 1,000. For he is wise in mind and mighty and great. Who has hardened himself against him and endured? Who wears out the mountains, and men know it not? Who overturns them in anger? Who shakes the earth under heaven from its foundations, and its pillars totter? Who commands the sun, and it rises not, and he seals up the stars? Who alone has stretched out the heavens and walks on the sea as on firm ground? Who makes Pleiades and, I don't know what that is. What's that word? I don't know what that word is. Who makes Pleiades and Herpeus and Arcticus and the chambers of the south? Who does great and unsearchable things, glorious also and excellent things innumerable? If ever he should go beyond me, I shall not see him. If he should pass by me, neither thus have I known it. If he would take away, who shall turn him back? Or who shall say to him, what hast thou done? For if he has turned away his anger, and the whales under heaven have stooped under him, oh, then that he would hearken to me, or judge my cause. For though I be righteous, he will not hearken to me. I will entreat his judgment. And if I should call, and he should not hearken, I cannot believe that he has not listened to my voice. Let him not crush me with a dark storm, but he has made my bruises many without cause. For he suffers me not to take breath, but he has filled me with bitterness. For indeed he is strong in power. Who then shall resist his judgment? For though I should seem righteous, my mouth will be profane. And though I should seem blameless, I shall be proved perverse. For even if I have sinned, I know it not in my soul, but my life is taken away. Wherefore I said, wrath slays the great and mighty man. For the worthless die, but the righteous are laughed to scorn. For they are delivered into the hands of the unrighteous man. He covers the faces of the judges of the earth. But if it be not he, who is it? But my life is swifter than a post. My days have fled away, and they knew it not. Or again, is there a trace of their path left by ships? Or is there one of the flying eagle as it seeks its prey? And if I should say, I will forget to speak, I will bow down my face and groan. I quake in all my limbs, for I know that thou wilt not leave me alone as innocent. But since I am ungodly, why have I not died? For if I should wash myself with snow and purge myself with pure hands, thou hadst thoroughly plunged me in filth. My garments have had abhorred me. For thou art not man like me, with whom I could contend, that we might come together to judgment. Would that he, our mediator, were present, and a reprover, and one who should hear the cause between both. Let him remove his rod from me, and let not his fear terrify me. So shall I not be afraid, but I will speak, for I am not thus conscious of guilt. So he can't find anything what he's done wrong inside. He can't find it. Chapter 10. Weary in my soul, I will pour my words with groans upon him. I will speak, being straitened in the bitterness of my soul. I will say to the Lord, do not touch me to be impious. I'm sorry, do not teach me to be impious. Wherefore hast thou thus judged me? Is it good before thee if I be unrighteous? For thou hast disowned the work of thy hands and attended to the counsel of the ungodly. Or dost thou see a mortal as mortal sees? Or wilt thou look as a man sees? Or is thy life human? Or thy years the years of a man? That thou hast inquired into mine iniquity and searched out my sins? For thou knowest that I have not committed iniquity, but who is he that can deliver out of thy hands? Thy hands have formed me and made me. Afterwards, thou didst change thy mind and smite me. Remember that thou hast made me as clay, and thou dost turn me again to earth. Hast thou not poured me out like milk and curdled me like cheese? And thou didst clothe me with skin and flesh and frame me with bones and sinews. And thou didst bestow upon me life and mercy, and thy oversight has preserved my spirit. Having these things in thyself, I know that thou canst do all things, for nothing is impossible with thee. And if I should sin, thou watchest me, and thou hast not cleared me from iniquity. Or if I should be ungodly, woe is me. And if I should be righteous, I cannot lift myself up, for I am full of dishonor. For I am hunted like a lion for slaughter. For again thou hast changed and art terribly destroying me, renewing against me my torture. And thou hast dealt with me in great anger, and thou hast brought trials upon me. Why then didst thou bring me out of the womb? And why did I not die? And no eye see me. And if I become as if I had not been, for why was I not carried from the womb to the grave? Is not the time of my life short? Suffer me to rest a little before I go whence I shall not return, to a land of darkness and gloominess, to a land of perpetual darkness, where there is no light, neither can anyone see the life of mortals. Poor guy. Chapter 11. Then Sophar the Minian answered and said, he that speaks such, should also hear on the other side. Or does the fluent speaker think himself to be righteous? Blessed is the short-lived offspring of a woman. Be not a speaker of many words, for is there none to answer thee? For say not, I am pure in my works and blameless before him. But oh, that the Lord would speak to thee and open his lips to thee. Then shall he declare to thee the power of wisdom, for it shall be double of that which is with thee. And then shalt thou know that a just recompense of thy sins has come to thee from the Lord. Wilt thou find out the traces of the Lord? Or hast thou come to the end of which the Almighty has made? Heaven is high, and what wilt thou do? And there are deeper things than those in hell. What dost thou know? Or longer than the measure of the earth, or the breadth of the sea? And if he should overthrow all things, who will say to him, what hast thou done? For he knows the work of transgressors, and when he sees wickedness, he will not overlook it. But man vainly buoys himself up with words, and a mortal born of a woman is like an ass in the desert. I'm sorry, that's just funny. He called him an ass, but never mind. I'm sorry. Let me reread that. Forgive me. But man vainly buoys himself up with words, and a mortal born of a woman is like an ass in the desert. For if thou hast made thine heart pure and liftest up thine hands toward him, if there is any iniquity in thy hands, put it far from thee, and let not unrighteousness lodge in thy habitation. See, that's his body, his habitation, his body. And earlier, I think it called a house. For thus shall thy countenance shine again as pure water, and thou shalt divest thyself of uncleanness, and shalt not fear. And thou shalt forget trouble as a wave that has passed by, and thou shalt not be scared. And thy prayer shall be as the morning star, and life shall arise to thee as from the noonday. And thou shalt be confident, because thou hast hope, and peace shall dawn to thee from out of anxiety and care. For thou shalt be at ease, and there shall be no one to fight against thee, and many shall charge and make supplication to thee. But safety shall fail them, for their hope is destruction, and the eyes of the ungodly shall waste away. Chapter 12. And Job answered and said, So then ye alone are men, and wisdom shall die with you? Whoa. But I also have a heart as well as you. For a righteous and blameless man has become a subject for mockery. For it had been ordained that he should fall under others at the appointed time, and that his houses should be spoiled by transgressors. Let not, however, anyone trust that, being evil, he shall be held guiltless, even as many as provoke the Lord, as if there were indeed to be no inquisition made of them. But ask now the beast, if they may speak to thee, and the birds of the air, if they may declare to thee. Tell the earth, if it may speak to thee, and the fishes of the sea shall explain to thee. Who then has not known in all these things that the hand of the Lord has made them? Whereas the life of all living things is in his hand, and the breath of every man. For the ear tries words, and the palate tastes meats. In length of time is wisdom, and in long life knowledge. With him are the wisdom and power, and with him counsel and understanding. If he should cast down, who will build up? If he should shut up against man, who shall open? If he should withhold the water, he will dry the earth. And if he should let it loose, he overthrows and destroys it. With him are strength and power. He has knowledge and understanding. He leads counselors away captive and maddens the judges of the earth. He seats kings upon thrones and girds their loins with a girdle. He sends away priests into captivity and overthrows the mighty ones of the earth. He changes the lips of the trusty, and he knows the understanding of the elder. He pours dishonor upon princes and heals the lowly, revealing deep things out of darkness. And he has brought into light the shadow of death, causing the nations to wander and destroy them, overthrowing the nations and leading them away. Perplexing the minds of the princes of the earth, he causes them to wander in a way they have not known, saying, Let them grope in darkness, and let there be no light, and let them wander as a drunken man. Wow. Chapter 13. Behold, mine eyes has seen these things, and mine ear has heard them. And I know all that ye too know, and I have not less understanding than you. Nevertheless, I will speak to the Lord, and I will reason before him if he will. But ye are all bad physicians and healers of diseases. But would that ye were silent, and it would be wisdom to you in the end. But hear ye the reasoning of my mouth, and attend to the judgment of my lips. Do ye not speak before the Lord, and utter deceit before him? Or will ye draw back? Nay, do ye yourselves be judges. For if it were well, if he would thoroughly search you. For though doing all things in your power, ye should attach yourselves to him. He will not reprove you at all the less. But if moreover ye should secretly respect persons, the phone ringing. But if moreover ye should secretly respect persons, shall not his whirlpool sweep you around, and terror from him fall upon you? And your glorying shall prove in the end to you like ashes, and your body like a body of clay. Be silent, that I may speak, and cease from mine anger, while I may take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my hand. Though the mighty one should lay hand upon me, for as much as he has begun, verily I will speak and plead before him. And this shall turn to me for salvation, for fraud shall have no entrance before him. Hear ye my words, for I will declare in your hearing. Behold, I am near my judgment. I know that I shall appear evidently just. For who is he that shall plead with me, that I should now be silent and expire? But grant me two things, then I will not hide myself from thy face. Withhold thine hand from me, and let not thy fear terrify me. Then shalt thou call, and I will hearken to thee. Or thou shalt speak, and I will give thee an answer. How many are my sins and my transgressions? Teach me what they are. And that right there is what I pray all the time. Forgive me for sins I don't even know, but show me what they are, because I got to stop it. Wherefore hidest thou thyself from me, and deemest me thine enemy? Wilt thou be startled at me, as at a leaf shaken by the wind? Or wilt thou set thyself against me, as against grass borne upon the breeze? For thou hast written evil things against me, and thou hast compassed me with the sins of my youth. And thou hast placed my foot in the stocks, and thou hast watched all my works, and hast penetrated my heels. I am as that which waxes old like a bottle, or like a moth-eaten garment. I'm feeling sorry for him bad. Chapter 14. For a mortal born of a woman is short-lived and full of wrath. Or he falls like a flower that has bloomed, and he departs like a shadow and cannot continue. Hast thou not taken account even of him, and caused him to enter into judgment before thee? For who shall be pure from uncleanness? Not even one. If even his life should be but one day upon the earth, and his months are numbered by him, thou hast appointed him for a time, and he shall by no means exceed it. Depart from him, that he may be quiet, and take pleasure in his life, though as a hireling. For there is hope for a tree, even if it should be cut down, that it shall blossom again, and its branch shall not fail. For though its roots should grow old in the earth, and its stem die in the rock, it will blossom from the scent of water, and will produce a crop as one newly planted. But a man that has died is utterly gone, and when a mortal has fallen, he is no more. For the sea wastes in length of time, and river fails and is dried up. And man that has lain down in death shall certainly not rise again till the heaven be dissolved, and they shall not awake from their sleep. For oh, that thou hadst kept me in the grave, and hadst hidden me until my wrath should cease, and thou shouldest set me a time in which thou wouldest remember me. For if a man should die, shall he live again, having accomplished the days of his life? I will wait till I exist again. Then shalt thou call, and I will hearken to thee. But do not thou reject the work of thine hands. But thou hast numbered my devices, and not one of my sins shall escape thee. And thou hast sealed up my transgressions in a bag, and marked if I had been guilty of any transgression unawares. And verily, a mountain falling will utterly be destroyed, and a rock shall be worn out of his place. The waters wear the stones, and waters falling headlong overflow a heap of the earth. And thou destroyest the hope of man. Thou drivest him to an end, and he is gone. Thou settest thy face against him, and sendeth him away. And though his children be multiplied, he knows it not. And if they be few, he is not aware. But his flesh is in pain, and his soul mourns. He knows more about hell than most people these days, you know it. Chapter 15. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Will a wise man give for an answer a mere breath of wisdom? And does he fill up the pain of his belly, reasoning with improper sayings, and with words wherein is no profit? Hast not thou moreover cast off fear, and accomplished such words before the Lord? Thou art guilty by the words of thy mouth, neither hast thou discerned the words of the mighty. Let thine own mouth and not me reprove thee, and thy lips shall testify against thee. What? Art thou the first man that was born, or wert thou established before the hills? Or hast thou heard the ordinance of the Lord? Or has God used thee as his counselor, and has wisdom come only to thee? For what knowest thou that we know not? Or what understandest thou that we do not also? Truly among us are both the old and the very aged, more advanced in days than thy father. Thou hast been scourged for but few of thy sins. Thou hast spoken haughtily and extravagantly. What has thine heart dared, or what have thine eyes aimed at, that thou hast vented thy rage before the Lord, and delivered such words from thy mouth? For who, being immortal, is such that he shall be blameless? Or who that is born of a woman, that he should be just? For as much as he trusts not in his saints, and the heaven is not pure before him. Alas, then, abominable and unclean is man, drinking unrighteousness as a draught. But I will tell thee, hearken to me. I will tell thee now what I have seen. Things wise men say, and their fathers have not hidden. To them alone the earth was given, and no stranger came upon them. All the life of the ungodly is spent in care, and the years granted to the oppressor are numbered. And his terror is in his ears. Just when he seems to be at peace, his overthrow will come. Let him not trust that he shall return from darkness, for he has been already made over to the power of the sword, and he has been appointed to be food for the vultures, and he knows within himself that he is doomed to be a carcass, and a dark day shall carry him away as with a whirlwind. What friends, man? Just what friends. I know people like this. Distress also and anguish shall come upon him. He shall fall as a captain in the first rank, for he has lifted his hands against the Lord, and he has hardened his neck against the Almighty Lord. And he has run against him with insolence on the thickness of the back of his shield. For he has covered his face with his fat, and made layers of fat upon his thighs, and let him lodge in desolate cities, and into his houses without inhabitant, and what they have prepared others shall carry away. Neither shall he at all grow rich, nor shall his substance remain. He shall not cast a shadow upon the earth, neither shall he in any wise escape the darkness. Let the wind blast his blossom, and let his flower fall off. Let him not think that he shall endure, for his end shall be vanity. His harvest shall perish before the time, and his branch shall not flourish. And let him be gathered as the unripe grape before the time, and let him fall as the blossom of the olive. For death is the witness of an ungodly man, and fire shall burn the houses of them that receive gifts. And he shall conceive sorrows, and his end shall be vanity, and his belly shall bear deceit. Wow, crazy. All right, we're going to end that there. Next time, we will pick up in chapter 16. I mean, I think I could just go on and on, but sometimes I get tongue-tied and then I start, reading crazy because, there's not that many chapters in here. No, I'm going to continue later. Until next time, brothers and sisters, keep your eyes on Jesus and your nose in the book, which is the Word of God. And let us, you and me, embed the Word of God upon the tablets of our hearts, and not be a hearer only, but let us be doers of the Word. So we will not sin against God or be deceived. And remember, God allows trials in order to perfect us, and also for us to see what may be inside of us that we were not aware of, because He already knows. Love y'all. Bye-bye. I love you, May.